know if they're mandatory. I think actually probably the opposite. Police there probably don't want them. But everything is so corrupt there that, what am I looking for? Keep an eye on this, guys. Everything is so corrupt there that if you don't have one, it's your word against the cops. They're usually after money.
This thing's like riding in the 50s.
The car?
The black dog went and got the back.
Huh? Oh, what?
Racism. But no, I think a lot of insurance, what I was reading was a lot of the insurance companies there, like,
Want you to have them?
yeah, give you a big discount.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And that's why there was a couple of different things, like there was an airplane wreck.
Yeah, people catch all sort of weird things.
And
gonna run over squirrel.
you know, yeah, you'll suddenly get hundreds of different dash cam.
Yeah.
It kind of shows you how many people have them.
The thing I'm disgusted about these days, the problem I'm having, is proprietary software and electronic devices.
Right.
Like, you know, these phones used to, not too long ago, all you had to do was plug your phone in and your computer would find it and say, hey, it's a hard drive. And you could just grab your picture files and move them across to your computer or whatever.
Right.
Now they want you to run their stuff through this software that the phone companies design and load it up to their servers and this and that, and therefore they have control over different things. And, you know, I don't know if a lot of people realize, you know, like if you upload a photo to something like Facebook,
Right.
they could pretty much do anything they want with it.
I've heard that their whole copyright and their user agreement pretty much says anything you upload is theirs.
A lot of media companies do that. If you're not explicit about your rights on your man, that looks stinks, on your video, and you share it with your TV station or something, you know, you want to get on the news.
Yeah.
They will pretty much claim it as theirs. So
Right.
you have to, you know, one thing you can do is put on a video. Like I see a lot of storm chasers do this. Which way are we going?
I don't know. Do you want to go get coffee?
Hell yeah, coffee. We can do both, or
shit, I've got about 38 cents on me.
oh, that's fine. Going this way.
Yeah.
But a lot of storm chasers will put on a video a watermark, and a lot of times the watermarks is not to be rebroadcast without prior permission from the owner.
Right.
And some will put it lightly across the whole thing, so you could not air it. If you see that watermark and it goes on somebody's TV station, and I have seen that happen, you've basically stolen that person's video without their permission.
Yeah, I remember there was what stupid thing that happened. It actually did originate on Battle Cam.
Yeah.
Alki David, what was that guy? I know that Tommy. I gave him the nickname Mothman because I thought he was actually from that part of Kentucky where the
Mothman.
Yeah. But somehow it's kind of a good name for him because he's kind of a freak. But it was a video where he shot himself through the ball sack.
Oh.
And actually he did. He did a real good job of faking it. But it looked really pretty real. And that ended up on Tosh.0. But of course, as it was being broadcast, it had the Battle Cam bug on it.
Yeah.
Not quite the same as watermark, but a bit more obvious. And you could tell that the people at Tosh.0 had taken that off, and also it had their copy that they had got somehow came through World Hip Hop,
Yeah.
whatever that is, Worldwide Hip Hop video site that gets a lot of crazy shit. And it had their watermark that they had also kind of blurred out. So there was ended up being 2 or 3 different ones on that clip that they used. And I remember Alki kind of ranting about how he was going to sue him and whatever, and I didn't follow too closely, but I think there was something about people from Tosh.0 said, well, no, we got it from World Star Hip Hop, and so we don't owe you nothing. And it's hey, you'll have to go sue them.
Yeah, if you have something, you put a watermark on that they cannot pull off. And, I would just say you put it across the whole screen to where you can still see what it is, what's going on.
Yeah.
But in order to get rid of it, you'd have to blur the whole screen. And
Yeah.
who wants to watch that? Well, when did Brian pass away?
When?
Yeah, what day?
Saturday.
Saturday, last Saturday.
Yeah.
It's too bad. How old was he?
He was 48.
Oh, 1 year younger than me.
Yeah. And
Lung cancer.
yeah.
He, yeah, it's bad stuff.
Yeah, he had fallen down the stairs, got in the emergency room, came back out, then the next day, I see a thing in the, well, Brian's been taken to hospice, and I'm just like, holy shit, usually when they take somebody to hospice, it's
Yeah.
within the next couple of days.
Yeah, he didn't, I remember that, and he didn't last very long at all. I think he was moved to hospice and he was gone.
Well, you see, there was 2 times he was in hospice within a week. And that first time, so I'm like, oh, well, hell, I got to run over there.
Right or left or...
Take a minute.
Here's a googie.
What, that
Yeah.
museum go round? Yeah, I think it was originally a bank. I'm not sure exactly what it is now. Except I remember they built that in the 70s. Were they still building Googie?
Generally they say 1968, 67, 68 was the end of it. Could be.
Well, so Topeka being 5-6 years behind.
Well, that's true. It's usually an indicator of how conservative a town is how late they adopt styles of architecture.
The architects are probably up to speed, but the customers aren't.
Yeah. Well, I had a book, or my dad had a book on architectural designs, and basically it was a catalog, and you went through, and when you designed your building, you go, okay, I like this door, these windows, these fixtures, and
a Williamson Tower.
Yeah, essentially a draftsman could go through and put it together and get it approved by an engineer and architect, and you were building your building the next week. And those books tended to be contemporary, meaning that the styles in those books were very well established. And I guess 1 year, the last year of a style, it might not be in the next year's book. Then they might adopt something new.
Right.
But generally, they weren't very. You weren't going to find avant-garde anything. You were just finding stuff that's been well established, and generally people are pretty conservative. They want what's contemporary. And in Kansas City, somebody was trying to make a point about architecture being, Art Deco being Kansas City's got great, outstanding examples of Art Deco, and I said no. Actually, Kansas City was kind of a late adopter, being a very conservative city. You know, and really, if you want to see a town that's a good indicator of a town that has people who are very early adopters in something, you'll see it adopted very quickly in housing architecture.
Right.
And you don't see too many Art Deco houses in Kansas City. You see a few, and they never really called it. A lot of people don't know they never really called it Art Deco when it existed. They just called it modern or streamlined design.
Right.
Art Deco was a phrase that was actually coined in the 60s.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of people don't know that. They think, oh, wow, you know, people in the 20s and 30s and 40s, they were like, look at our Art Deco, we're all modern. Like, no, they didn't call it Art Deco.
They named it after the older brother, the one that couldn't swim, boB Deco,
boB Deco.
rather than Art.
Yeah, and a lot of really conservative towns look down their noses at anything that's art or artistic or artsy. It's like, you know, they tend to celebrate sports, and they don't like art. And art in America actually had a big push because of World War One.
boBs.
Something possibly.
Pretty busy.
What happened was all these farm boys were put on uniforms and went to France, and they fell in love with Paris, and they brought that, you know, art everywhere kind of thing back to their towns, and next thing you knew, all the small towns in America had to have certain things, you know, that American soldiers got accustomed to in France.
Right. Now, do we want to go to the coffee shop, or we want to go to like a restaurant?
Oh, I don't care. Which coffee? Which? Left, right, center.
Go for now. I was just wondering if we wanted to go out and get something like Denny's, Wanamaker, or.
Rather do boBo's. Do they take debit cards?
I have no idea. I bet they would. If you want to, we could.
Not super duper hungry right at this moment. I don't know if you are.
Well, let's just go to a coffee house.
Is this
And then if we
a decent
decide-
one?
Well, there's the Blackbird. It's right over here.
Which one do you usually go to?
Blackbird.
Oh, okay. So,
Yeah, the first time Brian went into hospice, it was just kind of a respite thing while they brought in a hospital bed for him, and were basically moving him down to his mother's apartment on the first
Yeah.
floor, so
Oh.
he didn't have to.
up the stairs.
Yeah, and so I went in there, you know, like, oh my God, you know, and he had called me, and I couldn't understand anything he was saying because his voice was so low, and
Yeah.
so, you know, like, but something about laptops, something about internet, and something, you know, and so I go over there, and he was wanting help to get his laptop online there at the hospice, and they have shitty Wi-Fi connection there.
Of course, naturally.
And but yeah, I hung around, talked to him, and he was like, yeah, you know, I'm only here until, you know, a couple days, and then going back home. And I'm like, oh, okay, so this is the big, you know. Then he was only home for like maybe 2 days, and had a turn for the worse. They took him back to hospice, and I went down on Saturday. I guess they took him in on Friday. on Saturday, and
He was already gone.
yeah,
Wow.
went into his room and nobody was there. He was laying in the bed, so I thought he was sleeping. And so I sat there, and I've been in that situation a couple times before, and sometimes the people, they can hear you, but they just can't react, or just way too tired to even, So I was talking to him, and then I was thinking also, if he's asleep or unconscious on some whatever spiritual level or something, they know you're there, whatever. So I was talking to him for about 5 minutes, and then the nurse kind of comes in and starts doing something, and then looks and sees me. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you need some more time? And I'm kind of like,
Time for what?
do whatever you have to do. And she's like, oh yeah, you must have just missed the family and stuff. They left as soon as he passed. I'm kind of like, what? Yeah. I mean, I noticed he wasn't looking real good, but he wasn't, So yeah, I've been sitting there hanging out talking to a dead guy. And,
Well.
but it was funny thing was, as I was sitting there was this box of cotton balls, and I'd actually had this idea. It's like, it might be funny for me to take those and put them on his eyebrows and give him a little beard and stuff, so when his family comes back in, because I was thinking, they just went off for lunch somewhere.
Yeah, that would kind of.
Yeah, so I'm kind of glad I didn't do that, because fluid cotton balls on a dead guy is kind of.
Well, you might have realized it then.
Yeah. I mean, Brian would have thought it was funny. Yeah.
That was a black bird. It's like the song. It's my diary. That's how I do my Moorish redundant douchebag blog these days.
Shoot.
The shoot.
Wanamaker's that way.
It's been my experience at any restaurant named The Shoot has not been a very positive experience.
Oh, it's the shit.
Well, usually it's kind of like.
So that HDMI output, does that plug into just your normal old iPhone kind of?
It'll plug into anything. And yeah, it's got the whatever, lightning, thunderbolt lightning, very, very scary to me.
I mean, would I be able to plug that into my thing and have the HDMI out?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think so. What kind of...
Well,
they make adapters for that. Yeah, well, you need the one that fits that. But they make them for that. Wow, what is going on west of here? Base velocity. Like, directly west. Maple Hill. Ooh, St. Mary's.
15 miles away.
Keep an eye on it. Looks like it might be trying to rotate.
I'm going to say the Red Robin place is kind of up on Menninger's Hill. Might be able to see some sort of view of.
Is that where the crazy people were?
Yeah.
They built a chain restaurant there.
Yeah, it's kind of near the park where they built a multiplex cinema.
What is a Red Robin anyway?
It's a restaurant. It's a chain, and not quite like Denny's or IHOP, but more burgers.
Yeah.
Not sure what else they have.
Well, I'll go wherever. Which way?
I guess we'll go out here to the left.
We're pretty close to Westboro, aren't we?
Yeah. Technically, this neighborhood right here is Westboro. Well, that way.
So we're taking a Leroy here.
Yeah.
thunderstorms. Or northwest.
Northwest and heading this way?
Yeah, it looks like it. Looks like it's heading straight for Topeka.
Cool. Yep, there's you.
There's some lightning. So, see, how did you meet Brian anyway?
McGuire?
Yeah.
He was in high school. Just he was like one of the freaks, and kind of hanging out in the smoking area. And he was into punk rock and a lot of the same music. And he also knew some guys that I knew, like Mark Volman, drummer for the Clusterfucks, had actually known Brian since maybe grade school.
Oh yeah.
Or junior high. They went to different junior high and grade school. And I didn't meet Mark or the Volmans until high school. And Bill Volman, who was my age, was actually one of John's friends. And they had like orchestra and music classes together and like debate classes and that sort of thing. And then Mark was actually John's age. And you know, just kind of this whole constellation of people that would kind of hang around. And John and Bill Volman and another guy, Sean Ames.
You can get pizza there.
Yeah, that pizza's not all that.
Oh,
Would be
nice lightning.
So we will take a left here.
Take a left. Okay. Yeah. So when you guys, the Clusterfucks formed in
83.
Are you still going to be too lazy to break up?
I think so. I'm not sure why this should really slow us down or speed us up on that front.
Would Brian want you guys to keep going?
Yeah, I think so. But I mean, there was a while later. He went away to prison for a few years, and we either played as a three-piece or we had Tom Kelly playing with us.
So when everybody in the Clusterfucks passes away, will the Clusterfucks still live on and be passed on to the next generation?
I think our laziness
Your laziness will transcend life.
Yeah.
That's nice.
I'll have to remember that one.
The laziness that transcends life.
Yeah. Laziness transcends this mortal coil. Yeah, this mansion over here that you'll barely catch a glimpse of is the old Alf Landon mansion. He was Nancy Landon Casaubon's father. That way. He was a major player in Kansas politics and governor for several terms, owned a bunch of newspapers and radio stations. Then one of those jackasses from Westar bought that mansion and spent millions, like, just pimping it out. Kind of like, you know, you don't buy a cool old mansion, you know, well over 100 years old, if you're going to do that to it. If you want that, then you can go build a trophy mansion.
Yeah. Well, where we were going, there isn't by chance outdoor seating, is there?
There might be. Would you like some?
Possibly for her, because I'm thinking that if it rains like cats and dogs,
You already want to have the dog?
she might make some friends. No, she'll get scared in the car by herself.
Right.
One of the limitations of having a furry child. place. Seems like we go there for bad weather and violence.
Hooters.
Yeah. And they have a pretty good outdoor patio.
Yeah, what was the deal? Last time we were there was some sort of...
Some guys were in town at the hotel next door. They were contractors of some sort. I think like linemen or something.
Right.
Only some of them couldn't handle their alcohol as well as they thought they should, and were basically like they were about ready to attack the waitresses or something, or each other, or us, or anybody that was around them.
Right.
You know, you wake up from a hangover and you have a job that you're traveling for, and it's probably a halfway decent paying job, and you screw it up by going to the restaurant and getting drunk and getting in a fight. It depends on the contractor you're working for, but these days that kind of thing usually gets you canned. Which way?
I think if we kind of go through
And to the right? Or
I think sort of that way.
well, we're on Wanamaker.
Yeah. Yeah, I think towards that.
What's that? Make the wrong turn.
I think this is the way to...
It's threading its way.
But then if this doesn't, see, I mean, Hooters is just right.
Yeah. Oh, I see red. Red. He's frogging. Hooters. They got surprisingly good food. I heard of the other one. That's the Hooters knockoff. Should that be knocker off?
Yeah.
Twin Peaks.
Oh, yeah, that's where the biker fight was.
And boy, is the media really making a big... Oh, look, it's D-Robin.
Is that outdoor seating?
I think it might be. Boy, are they making a big stink out of that. And you talk to... Well, of course, you talk to the bikers. They'll say, oh, you guys are blowing it out of proportion. I don't know. The thing that to ask is, I have heard, and I haven't been able to investigate, mainly from some of the biker groups, that a lot of those guys who were shot were actually shot by the police.
Yeah, that's there's some conspiracy theories going around that it was that the whole thing was kind of planned and instigated by the cops. And that's a meeting that they've been having for 16 years at that place, something like that.
Yeah, it looks like it's outdoor something. It's outdoor seating, maybe. We might get a little waterlogged burger, but it's like D-Robin, like we be D-Robbing you.
Yeah.
These does something. I wonder if comes along with that. Or if we can do that and make it so only this part of our faces can be lit up. We'll have this. I don't know how you would call that look. Dougie, Stella. Stella, come on. Where are you? Come on. Come on. Up here. Alright, I did bring my raincoat. Here you go. Come on, Stella. Nothing to worry about. And here's the other one. whining.
So what's it cost you in gas to get like round trip from here to Kansas City to here?
Or I don't know. And this thing, not very much.
$20.
If that.
This thing probably does pretty good. I was just wondering, like, what? Okay, your days off are Thursday and Friday.
Yep. How do we get out of here?
Same way we came in. I think there's an exit down that way or that way. Probably following that car.
Follow that car.
Where that waitress said Topeka Boulevard and where else?
Oh, I don't know. We're heading back that way, I guess. I bet you Lawrence's. Looks like it's lessened up a little. The one I'd be worried about right now is Overbrook. Right south of us, south and east. Lawrence is on that north end of the. They call the type of storm we just had a derecho.
Right.
And I don't know what derecho means. It's probably Spanish for bad wind. Which I always have derechos after eating chili.
Yeah.
The north end of them are usually the pretty bad part, worst part, because you can get, they start rotating and you can get really intense mesocyclone winds, if not a, which way are we going, this way?
We could go, yeah. Yeah, let's go this way.
If not, get a spin up tornado, brief tornado or whatever. We were on the very tip of the bow. There's some pretty strong winds that came through here.
Now we can either get on this thing and zip right up to Topeka Boulevard, or we can get out and kind of drive through town. Like at that, whichever way you want.
Maybe we ought to zip. Sometimes with water, if you go faster, it'll still be there. Which way am I zipping? Zippity-doo-dah.
Yeah, there's a couple of storefronts down in Noto that are for rent. Pretty decent space, $650 a month, which is pretty cheap, I think. Probably about right for North Topeka. But I've had the thought that maybe the perfect job for me is to have my own junk store. Whoops. Oh, yeah.
brought an original Apple computer into like a Salvation Army thrift store or whatever, and they had it evaluated, and it turned out it was like the #1 computer built by Jobs, Wozniak, and the third guy they had, nobody ever talks about.
Oh yeah.
And that it was actually worth about $200,000.
Just as a collector's thing.
Well, it's like one of the original machines that they built in their garage. And you know, it's a piece of history. I think the case on it is actually handmade out of wood.
Huh.
And it had somewhere on it their signatures, like they wrote in Sharpie, signed their names to it, which was actually kind of common if you ever had an Amiga computer.
Right.
If you opened up the case to it,
Wow.
Yeah, the names of all the people who designed it and built it would be written in the case. Printed in the case, not handwritten. They would mold it into the case.
Right.
So yeah, Amiga, they were really proud of their product. It's a shame they went out of business. Kind of, when they went out of business, a lot of their stuff went over to Apple computers.
Right. Well, the video toaster was...
Originally, it was an Amiga. It was in an Amiga 2000.
Yeah, it had to do with the timing of the chip.
Yeah. Well, Amigas were set up on the NTSC standard.
Right.
That's the timing. It's, you know, 30 frames a second, and Lawrence, wow, is really catching it. It's got the storm recycled itself, so if there's a tornado coming out of it right now, it might be right over Clinton Lake. What is it about Southwest Lawrence? When they get hit with something, it's always there.
Big water spout.
Well, I guess you, a few years ago, they had it, or almost 20 years ago, they had you saw the tornado in South Park.
Oh, right, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Wish they'd make a lightning trigger on these cameras that when it detects lightning, it quickly takes a picture and catches it. Is that a stop for us?
Yeah.
That's right.
Take a Leroy. Those lights down there at Topeka Boulevard. We go left and north Topeka, or if you want to go look for flooding, we can go right. Or who knows, maybe left Lawrence.
Well, there was high water here.
Yeah.
I think it's probably receded by now.
Just like my hair.
Is this Topeka Boulevard? Tapioca Boulevard? Tapioca. I would imagine it may have flooded right underneath that overpass.
They'll probably run off from that overpass. This poor guy.
Oh. What, do you know him?
No. He had the reflective vest, and so he was inspecting the bridge.
Oh. I thought maybe he was somebody that was regular that.
Not that I'm aware of.
That's what I mean. What you doing, Dougie? Haven't seen too much wind damage at all. I saw a few leaves there, but that's nothing much. I guess if I wanted to, I could chase it back to Kansas City. So what's the plans with Brian?
Well, as it stands now, his daughter Jessica has reserved a shelter house over near 21st and Kansas Avenue. It's kind of a weird little park down in that area. And that will start around 5, I think. And I don't know if it's a potluck or...
Can I make a left here?
You can, yeah, you can be in that. Well, these lights are flashing. They must have got struck.
And what day is that?
That will be next Friday,
Okay.
the 12th. And that'll go from like 5 until 10:30. I imagine they have to clear out of the place by 11. And I'm not sure if they have any sort of service or anything planned. I kind of doubt it. But Lisa's family is pretty kind of Christian, church-going. I think I only met her mom once, and didn't seem like a totally horrible person, but still seemed pretty Christian-y.
Christian-y.
Lisa already said, my family does not do bars, so you can't have anything in a bar. And so I'm pretty sure there's not going to be any booze or anything at that thing.
Well, I don't miss that, and I don't think you miss that either.
Yeah. But then there's a whole contingency of, most of Brian's friends are musicians or music fans, mostly.
Beer guzzlers.
Yeah. Booze hounds.
Booze hounds. Yeah, that's a good way of saying it.
God, look at all the damage here.
That was a pretty intense storm. It dug it all out.
Well, this is all supposed to save Topeka.
Yeah, the sign is blown down. Rip your tires up. What, this will save Topeka by tearing it down?
Yeah.
Looks like they've torn down half of downtown here.
Actually, the good thing that they are doing with this is that they're replacing a lot of the plumbing and wiring and
Butt plugs.
crap that's over 100 years old.
Just because they have a blinky red light does not mean they will stop at it. Can we go this way?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
why are those sandbags there that we just... Oh, there's some damage.
Yep.
Blown over. Maybe they were blown there from the road. I have no idea. Maybe we're just driving down through a construction zone. We'll fall in a huge pit.
There's 712 Innovations, the hackerspace thing. Somebody's in
I don't think that's supposed to be like that. What do you think?
there.
They're down everywhere. There's a big pile of them right over there.
Yeah, looks like shit got blown all over.
I don't see any shit. I would hate to be there when shit's blowing around. That'd be like literally a shitstorm.
Yeah.
There you stand, all spick and span. Where were you when the shit hit the fan? That was awesome looking, whatever that was.
Something striking the rescue mission.
Maybe it was a UFO. Striking the rescue mission. It's the hand of God.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, it's going to be a picnic memorial thing Friday afternoon, evening. And since there's a bunch of people that, you know, they want a more rock and roll type thing on Fridays at J&J's over here in Noto, place where I've been helping them out.
Yeah, I met them.
Yeah. And Friday nights they have their jars and jams, which is basically an open jam. My buddy Judd Mason that you met kind of usually leads the jam session.
So is that next Friday or?
Yeah. Friday the 12th.
So you can kind of go to the picnic and then go to the...
Yeah.
The bar.
Since the bar rock and roller types are going to be, you know, they go out later.
That's at least his family. What about his family?
His family at this point is just his mom.
Oh. So he doesn't really have family?
No. He's got a sister somewhere. And, but no, his dad, let's see, Brian was diagnosed with cancer, I think either 1 year or 2 years to the day after his dad died of lung cancer.
Oh, wow.
So his dad only died a couple of years ago of lung cancer.
Well, I didn't even know he had it until really just a couple of weeks ago when you guys started talking about when he started talking about the funeral expenses.
Yeah, he kind of kept low-key. He told me early on, and he was sort of like, you know, yeah, we're only telling just a few people that, you know, and he didn't swear me to secrecy, but he did say, you know, I don't want it to be like, you know,
I can understand that.
a big deal. And
you don't want everybody coming out of the woodwork.
I think that also goes hand in hand with a certain amount of hope and denial. Like,
Yeah.
if we don't make a big deal out of it, then it won't.
Well, you know, the thing is, you know, when Tima died, the last thing I wanted to do, and it was like, it neglected some people, I guess, was bear my emotions in front of a large group of people. And I knew that if I talked with certain people, they were going to bring that out of me. First thing they're going to want to do is give me a big hug. And then they start, oh. And then it'd be like, So
Yeah.
I was like, no, don't start that. Don't start that. It's too public, you know. I'm just not that type of huggy-feely person, unfortunately. You know, maybe I should be. Maybe I should embrace my vulnerability. And, you know, and I thought I was kind of over it. And this was like a day after, or the day that we did put her down. because you know, when you're going through that, you know it's going to happen. You've had all this time while she was still alive to get through the emotional stuff, and then when it happens, it's almost anticlimactic and even a little bit of a relief, you know.
Yeah.
And so I thought I was pretty much over it by that afternoon. That, you know, I was really sad and everything. And I made the mistake of going into YJ's, and David walks in. And then I told him, and I thought I was going to be able to do it with a straight face, and I busted up. I was like, ah, shit, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay, that means I need to get out of here. And, you know, he said something about, oh, well, we should do what do you call it? A jazz parade for her. She was really loved by a lot of people. And I kind of felt like, no. I don't think she would like that if she were alive. And I you know, kind of the last thing I would need is a whole bunch of people. It's not a popularity contest, and I don't need a whole bunch of people that I don't know coming out. Why are we here? We drink beer. You know,
making a party out of.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what I felt like. I didn't think that would honor or respect anybody. You know, it was a good gesture, I guess, but I just kind of felt like Suyan and I wouldn't have been. And you know, Stella would be terrified.
Right.
And she'd be there in a large crowd of people, and she would just be terrified. And I'm like, yeah, it's not doing her any good. She doesn't know what's going on. Just a bunch of people being loud.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's hard to say, you know. Yeah, the thing is, I guess really you have to kind of ask people. Never assume anything. Ask them what they want, what they're going through. Sometimes people will say something like, well, Brian would have wanted this or that. I'm like, well, maybe not. Maybe we're about to drive into a flood here.
Kind of interesting.
Looking at, there was a lot of water here. There is some water here. How deep is it? Oh,
hey.
I don't think we're going to make it to your house.
Yeah. What's that flashing way down there?
Is there another way around?
No. It's a dead end.
I think we might be walking from here.
Yeah.
Do your roommates have chainsaws?
Yeah.
You're gonna have to get through this. Let me take a picture. Take a picture, last longer. Put it on Twitter. Or Doggy probably still. Most probably, yeah.
I'm betting that if we hadn't been here, he would be
Helping himself.
peeking in all your windows. And
Big tree down.
looks like it had critters and things eating away at it.
Got your flashlight over here, and we'll see if we can. This thing isn't going to work so good. In the, whoop! It's starting to rain on us.
I'm hoping that's just blowing off the tree.
Yeah. See what it. Yeah.